From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. On Wednesday evening in Fairbanks, Governor Sean Parnell signed Senate Bill 23 in support of the much publicized interior natural gas trucking project.
That's right. News Center 11's Daryl Lewis was there and he has more.
Thanks and good evening. In front of a packed house Wednesday night at Wedgwood Resort, Governor Sean Parnell, flanked by a host of legislators, dignitaries, and other officials, signed what he calls historic legislation.
SB 23 has become law.
After much political back and forth, it's now official. The signing took place in front of a packed house at Fountainhead Antique Auto Museum at Wedgwood Resort, and Parnell did the honors as elected officials from the interior and other parts of the state looked on.
I didn't have to chain myself to the building before we got that thing done. I would have done that. It would have been a good press day, but this is a much better press day.
The Republican governor says Fairbanks will see energy costs drop for the first time in years.
What that means is that ADA is now authorized to loan money to this project to get it off the ground. That's what's historic about today, is it's now become a project.
The legislation now paves the way for more than $330 million of bonds, low-interest loans, and grants available to the private sector or a municipal utility to pursue a plan to truck and distribute North Slope liquefied natural gas. Interior community leaders happy all sides could come together for the benefit of many.
We know what we have is not perfect, and frankly, we never wanted perfect. This community, I think, struggled with that for a while. We don't need perfect. We needed something right away. We needed a solution.
Now the plan is to start construction of a North Slope processing plant and an interior distribution and storage infrastructure by the end of 2015. One of the primary movers behind the local effort, the Lowell Group, called it a win-win for the interior.
It has been a long road, but we're going to see a reduction in the price of energy in Fairbanks as a result of this. All the community needs to do is get behind it and keep the ball rolling that the governor started today.
The Air Force plans to release its draft environmental impact statement tomorrow on the proposal to relocate jet fighters from Eielson Air Force Base to Anchorage. The EIS addresses the potential effects that moving the 18th Aggressor Squadron to Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson would have on local economies. The document will be available for public review and comment until July 30th. Also, Secretary of the Air Force Michael Donnelly directed Pacific Air Forces to prepare a strategic assessment, which is expected to be finished this fall. The draft EIS will be available on May 31st for download and in hard copy form at area libraries. More information on where to comment and public hearing dates can be found online at our website at webcenter11.com.
A 21-year-old local man has reached a plea deal in the 2011 stabbing death of his father. During hearings early Thursday morning, Blair Lawless pleaded guilty to a single count of second-degree murder. Lawless will receive a 45-year prison term when he is sentenced July 18th in front of Fairbanks Superior Court Judge Douglas Blankenship. According to Alaska State Troopers, Lawless stabbed his father, 60-year-old Melvin Lawless, after an apparent argument between father and son. They say the younger Lawless then took a picture of the deceased man using his cell phone camera. He then placed the body of the elder Lawless in a crawl space. During a brief change of plea hearing, Lawless was visibly upset with the plea agreement, but given an opportunity to postpone the hearing for a later date by Blankenship, Lawless said he wanted to just get it over with.
I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we heard from the DA's point of view that he's saying he's trying to get this over with because he's worried about the victims needing closure, but it seems like I'm willing to take the deal now, and they want to set it off and set it off. I'm just trying to get this over with so I can get on down the road.
Authorities were alerted after Melvin Lawless had been declared missing by other family members. His body was found almost 2 weeks after he had been killed. After an intensive manhunt, Blair Lawless was apprehended in Anchorage.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough School District is seeking the public's help in identifying suspects involved in the vandalizing of an elementary school. The video shows 3 suspects approaching Two Rivers Elementary School and climbing up the side of the building to gain entry early Sunday, May 26th. Stolen items from the incident include 9 iPads and multiple iPod Touch devices. Now, those devices were used for classroom instruction at the school. The school district asks if anyone has information regarding the identity of the suspects to please call Alaska State Troopers at 907-451-5100.
All right, again, the weather is really nice out there.
It's gorgeous. My 2
Hot.
days off, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a little sun.
Oh, you did, just a little bit. All right. All right, well, Mike joins us for our first look at weather. Mike, tell us what's going on.
You know, guys, normally I hate to sound like a broken record, but this time I'm really glad that we're repeating once again what we're looking at today. It's going to be happening that way again tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, maybe some isolated showers in the forecast. I saw some cumulonimbus developing over the White Mountains today, and that may just drift over this way tomorrow. But right now, temperature-wise, as you can see around the area, we're looking pretty consistent. A little cooler around the Delta Junction area, 74 degrees there, 82, a good number for Fort Wainwright, Eielson Air Force Base, North Pole, and Fairbanks. And out to the west, Nenana at 83 degrees, and Denali Park at 73 degrees. Now in the lower 48, it's a broken record there, unfortunately. Once again, more thunderstorms, some of them spawning tornadoes. We'll tell you all about it with all the weather later on. Stephanie, Daryl?
It looks like Mike got some sun too.
Yeah.
I need to get out there and get a tan.
Enjoy it, but watch out for those cumulonimbus clouds.
Cumulonimbus, I know, I was thinking that. Good work, Mike. All right, when we come back, the ice jam that caused major flooding in Galena is breaking up.
And DOT urges residents not to post signs on state road markers. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. As the weekend approaches, many residents display various signs advertising garage sales, card shows, car washes, and other activities. Many of these signs displayed are in direct conflict with the guidelines issued by the State of Alaska Department of Transportation. DOT reminds residents that any sign attached to signs or poles or signs that may impede traffic could be confiscated and the owners could receive a $50 fine. The restrictions not only create a safety hazard, but cost the taxpayers money in the long run.
So if there's signs left in our right-of-way or in the median, our crews then are then tasked with going and taking that down, and that creates a burden for taxpayers because we're already stretched thin, and so we just encourage folks to go ahead and find other ways to advertise.
The community of Galena is mopping up from severe floodwaters that inundated the town earlier this week. The majority of residents were forced to flee the town to Fairbanks as Yukon River waters knocked many houses off their foundations and made road travel impossible. The National Weather Service says the 30-mile ice jam on the river began moving yesterday evening and floodwaters are receding. The village of Koyukuk is the next community along the riverbanks. However, residents are reporting ice chunks and river flow moving quickly past the community. A Galena evacuees meeting will be held tomorrow at noon at the Pioneer Park Exhibit Hall, followed by a picnic at the Square Dance Pavilion. The meeting is closed to the public. However, a resource fair for flood victims will also be held from 1 to 4 p.m.
Days before his stop in Fairbanks, Governor Sean Parnell stopped in Galena during the community's evacuation efforts Tuesday afternoon. Parnell credited the state's emergency response to the disaster. Scores of commercial and private flights have been transporting the majority of Galena's residents away from the community to surrounding areas and even into Fairbanks and Anchorage since flooding began Sunday. Longtime residents of the area say it's the worst flooding they've ever witnessed. Parnell says as waters begin to recede, the state is committed to covering the cost for residents to return to that area. He's also planning to declare the flood a state disaster, which will make it easier for residents to get state funding for rebuilding efforts.
People have lost everything, but they have their lives and they have a few belongings. And I had a chance to be with some of the residents there yesterday, and with the National Guard. And what struck me was not only the devastation, but the spirit that's alive there. I described an individual who was working hard to help others. I saw her house had been totally destroyed and overcome by water. So that spirit of Alaska is still rich and thick, and I'm just so thankful that we have Alaskans like that.
It's the second star to the right and straight on till morning. That is Neverland, and one local dance studio is taking interior residents there for the next 2 weekends. A continuation of last year's production, Dance Theater Fairbanks has changed not only the venue, but added some extra flair to its production. This year it will be held at the Edna Weiss Theater, which is located inside of Dance Theater Fairbanks. When the audience enters, the staff and students wanted to make sure they really felt like they entered a magical land.
We wanted to create the whole experience of really becoming part of the show. So you start out by walking through the Darling Nursery, you travel through Night Sky and into the Neverland Jungle, into Mermaid Lagoon, and then you come into the theater, which is sort of set up as the pirate ship. So we have the whole thing done up for you guys to actually be a real part of the show. And the fun thing about our little theater is it's so small and you're right up close to the action. A couple of the performers will actually come off the stage and interact with the audience. So it really makes everybody a part of the show.
Okay, all it takes is faith, trust, and a little bit of Joe Cook.
Joe Cook.
Oh, how do you like that?
Okay, that was good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
What's going on in sports?
Well, we have some more players coming to Fairbanks this fall as more recruits sign national letters of intent and some transferring into UAF. And you'll see who the newcomers are, and the all-MAC baseball teams will release, see who was selected. And that's next in sports. Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the sports seat for you this Thursday evening. Hope all is well. And now let's get into some Channel 11 sports. Today, some accolades going out to some of our interior baseball players for making the All-Mid-Alaska Conference team. For the MAC champion Lathrop Malamutes pitcher Matt Van Molken, catcher Wyatt Berg, and first baseman Terrell Ford were all MAC. West Valley, the runner-up, had Jonathan Lovell, Casey Lewandowski, and Tyler Chrisman make the All-MAC team. Tyson Harrell, Tyler Hill, and Adam Norton were all MAC selections for the North Pole Patriots. For the Monroe Catholic Rams, Scooter Bynum, Tyler Wells, and David Stepovich were all conference selections. And lastly, Brandon Schmidt of Delta Junction made the All-MAC team. Lathrop is playing their opening round of the state tournament today against South Anchorage. West Valley plays this evening against Service. Today, Caitlin Camp signed a national letter of intent to play volleyball for the Alaska Nanooks. Camp is a 6'1" setter from Newton High School in Iowa. Camp was all-conference and an honorable mention for all-district in volleyball for her senior campaign and was a top 10 setter in Iowa's 4A class. Camp is also a three-sport athlete, playing basketball and tennis while at Newton. Camp was a 3-year captain for the Cardinals and for the club volleyball team as well. New head coach Mallory Laranyaga's recruiting class screams big and fast. Camp joins 6'1" Cassidy Brewer, 6' Maddie Davis, and Lila Hudson, who is 6'3", along with Tessa Butterfield for defense and setter Janelle Feller. A couple of the UAF men's programs added to their teams as well. Men's basketball coach Mick Durham completed his 2013-2014 recruiting class with the junior college transfer. Joe Slocum, a 6'3" guard from the City College of San Francisco, will be a Nanook this coming season after signing his NLI. Slocum controlled the ball and did the little things for the Rams team that only lost 4 games in his 2 seasons. Slocum is known for defense and a 2.8 assist-turnover ratio. Slocum rounds out a recruiting class which includes transfers like guard Rashad Allen, forward John Renfro from Division I Southern Utah, and West Valley product Damon Sekunek, a guard out of Diamond High School. The men's skiing team will get a kid from Jackson, Wyoming. Nick Levette signed an NLI this week to join the skiing program. Levette, a Jackson Hole Community School product, was a Wyoming state champion in 2012 and was a part of a Jackson Hole program that won 3 straight state titles from 2010 to 2012. Levette is the first men's skier to sign with the Nanooks, and he plans to major in engineering. Tomorrow is the start of the weekend, so we look ahead to some local events that you can participate in and witness. Yesterday, we mentioned the Tour de Cure that's happening at the Alaska Dog Mushers Hall this Saturday, but if you prefer shoes over the bike, you can try something that may not be as bad as it sounds. The 2-way torture test this Saturday at Pump House Restaurant. The 13K competition has 2-person teams running in opposite directions. The race starts at 9 a.m. And if you want to kick back and watch, then go to Pioneer Park Theater this Saturday for the 2013 NPC Heart of Alaska Bodybuilding, Figure Fitness, Bikini, and Physique Championship. Competitors can check in and weigh in tomorrow at 6 at Anytime Fitness. That's also the last time to register, so if you have the biceps and pecs, go on and flex. The prejudging is at noon on Saturday, and the show is at 7 o'clock. Lastly, tonight, we take a look at the national sports scene, the NHL playoffs. The Final Four is set for the Stanley Cup. In the Western Conference Finals, the Chicago Blackhawks, who won in a Game 7 overtime thriller over the Detroit Red Wings, will face the defending champion LA Kings. In the Eastern Conference, the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Boston Bruins. Both series are 1 versus 5 seed matchups. This has the makings of 2 great series and a Stanley Cup final. The 4 teams that are left are the last 4 Stanley Cup champions. The Penguins won it all in 2009, followed by the Blackhawks in 2010. Then the Bruins won it all in 2011. And of course, the LA Kings, who are the defending Stanley Cup champions. Game 1 in each series starts this Saturday with the Kings and Blackhawks at 1 Alaska time on the NBC Sports Network. And then the puck drops for the Bruins and Penguins at 4 Alaska time right here on Channel 11. And in the NBA, the Spurs are waiting on the Pacers or the Heat to set up the NBA Finals. The finals start on June 6th. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. For more KTVS Sports, you can find us on our mobile app, Twitter, YouTube, and website11.com. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again, looking at our weather. And we did have showers around today. We call these popcorn showers for a reason, because they're just kind of speckles around. They all popped up depending where there's a little pocket of moisture that responding to the heating, and that gets you a little bit of shower activity going on. We're going to look at more of those in the next few days. As you can see, more activity moving in from Western Canada. So that may give us a few afternoon showers or even some thunderstorms. What's going on across our temperatures right now? As you can see, 82 degrees after a high of 84. Nice day. 50 for the overnight low. Record high 84 in 1983. 28 in 1931, sunrise and sunset. 20 hours and 22 minutes of daylight, a gain of 6 minutes from yesterday. Elsewhere across the state, it looks like some showers around the Ketchikan area. Mainly partly cloudy to cloudy skies over the rest of the Gulf of Alaska. Also cloudy skies around Bethel and at Barrow, with partly cloudy skies at Fort Yukon, 79 degrees there. Lower 48 weather, again, a lot of activity going on across the Central Plains for the most part. And you can see thunderstorms around the New Orleans area also. On the satellite and radar, you can see these storms, again, moving across Oklahoma, which is not a good sign, but it is at least to the east of Oklahoma City, so that's kind of good. This area of low pressure, the culprit, is slowly diminishing, but again, it's going to bring more thunderstorms and even the tornado threat tonight over this area, mainly around Kansas City and east of the Oklahoma City area and Des Moines, Iowa. And tomorrow, it looks like the jet stream all the way into the weekend is once again going to remain to the north, allowing a lot of warm air over the western side and the hot, humid conditions over the eastern side, and some Great Lakes, mainly just showers there. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies at Barrow, sunny skies for Nome and Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at partly cloudy skies for Fairbanks and partly sunny skies and not as warm in the Healy area. Over the southeast, again, showers scattered for Juneau and Ketchikan. Well, out to the southwest, we'll be looking at isolated showers for Cold Bay, scattered clouds at Bethel and Kodiak. And over the south central regions, it looks like mostly cloudy skies in Homer and Valdez and partly cloudy skies at Anchorage. Our pollen count for tonight, again, not much change from yesterday. Once again, the trees are at high levels, mold at medium levels, and it is a Thursday night, which means it's time for our fishing report, brought to you by the Boat Shop and Jeans. In the Valdez area, no fish reported coming in yet, but the halibut catches are very good there, 35 to 50 pound averages. Some kings slowly entering the river down the Kenai Peninsula, and also the Banduska Valley, looking at kings are allowed to be caught Friday through Monday, and the rivers are open, all the ice is gone. And the Chena River, it's at bank full, so not too much fishing going on there. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night, 52 degrees, partly cloudy skies, still some isolated showers possible over the hills. Tomorrow's forecast, 82 degrees. Once again, another day just like today, and the extended forecast looks like temperatures cool a little bit by Saturday and Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. Maybe some showers on Monday. Overnight lows still way above normal at this time of year, and daytime highs also remaining above normal, just about where they should be on Wednesday, right around the 67 degree mark.
You know, the lower 48, the south especially, they just cannot get away from this terrible weather.
You're right. The Oklahoma City area and all that area, it just that storm system is just not moving a lot. So it's just a clash of the two areas, the moist, warm air to the south and the cooler, drier air to the north. And it's just not moving.
Awful. Yeah. Getting hit by tornadoes left and right.
Unfortunately.
Thank you, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. As always, we're glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, as the class of 2013 enters post-college life, Nightly News pieces together keynote messages heard at graduation ceremonies across the country. Stay tuned. That's coming up with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at websun11.com. And don't forget to download our app for your smartphone.
And we talked earlier about the Chino River being a bank full. Well, we got video to prove it. We're going to leave you with that tonight. We'll see you back here at 11.